Foley going to be able to go?
We'll find out today.
Based on if he practices or not, or
That and just see where he's at, mentally. That's a part of injury as well as the mental aspect. That's part of the reason why Zay last week too. Just he tried, but you just don't want to put somebody out there that maybe mentally is not there as well, kind of thinking about the injury. So we just got to make sure that he's in the right frame of mind too before we make that decision.
So is Zay okay for this week too? Or
Zay's fine. Zay's fine. Yeah.
Kevin Long and Cole, you think both of them should be good this week too?
Yeah, they're good.
when you have a guy like Zay who he really wanted to be out there, you like that from your guys though, right? You're having to protect them from themselves a little bit.
Yeah, you want guys to try to push through injury. Number one, I think that sends a great message to their teammates. We, as coaches, I mean, we do, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that they can't injure themselves any further. I think we do a great job, with Jeff Ferguson and our docs, just of managing that, with these guys. But yeah, I think it sends a great message to the rest of the team that these guys are out here practicing with a little injury.
What do you miss when Zay's not out there? What does he bring when he's in this?
I mean, he brings his leadership. There's a level of toughness with him, the physicality with him. You do miss a little bit of the speed factor and the burst down the field. With him, he's that type of receiver, and it's just been another, nice little, kind of not a security blanket, but that type of player for Trevor.
And having seen what Agnew can do and put into that role, that kind of gives you a little bit more options in terms of what you want to do offensively.
Yeah. Seeing Ag last week and giving him more play time offensively just kind of solidifies what we kind of already knew, but he went out and did it for us, in that football game, and we want to continue because that gives you 4 guys right there. And then, of course, Tim works in, so you got 5 guys that are constantly, getting reps and snaps, and you just got to have that out of your receiver group.
Is there ever a point if you add in James and Travis, and then you add in Ingram and Dan Arnold, where you're like, I got too many guys I got to hit the ball to? Do you play call ever say?
I mean, that's a great. Yeah, no, that you do. Sometimes you sit there and you go, okay, who gets the ball now or who gets the ball next? I mean, it is a good problem to have, but at the same time, you do what's best for the football team. Decision making, and we've talked about this before. Whoever has a hot hand during that game, you might give them a few more touches, but ultimately, we're trying to win the game.
When you're game planning, I know obviously a lot of it depends on matchups, but do you go into a game thinking, I want to get guy X at least 10 touches?
I don't think we put a number on it because you never know how the game's going to go. But you do go in thinking, hey, we want to plan for this guy and that guy, having 3 or 4 guys. It's just like us trying to scheme a defense, right? We know who their guys are, and we've got to say, okay, we got to take care of this guy, and we got to make sure we understand where he's at and where that safety is, so, it's part of that same mentality, I guess.
You talked about the mental side of it with Foley and the injury. Do you have to address the mental side of it with the mistakes? The quarterback, for instance, coming off of a bad day, turnover-wise, and how do you get that point across, or how do you make that not an issue on Sunday?
You definitely address it. You don't want to make it the focal part of the week. You don't want to always dwell on the negative. That's what Mondays are for, for the good and the bad, to address it, bring light to it, but then we correct it and move on. And then the rest of the week is focused on, game planning and preparing for this game. But I think those Mondays can be some difficult conversations. There got to be some challenging conversations back and forth with players, and especially the quarterback, and just understanding from a staff too that we have confidence in him. It's not about confidence. It's about, hey, we understand we've got to take care of the football and make sure that we do things right. When you do scramble, you got to make sure there's 2 hands, or at least the ability to throw the ball away or run. So we're trying to show them and help them, through the tape study, on a Monday, so that when we get to Wednesday, he's kind of put it behind him.
If Foley can't go, how do you adjust the defensive line?
We have options.
Roy played a lot of snaps last week. Do you want him to be playing that many snaps?
Well, you never want, a guy to play that many, and we're monitoring that, obviously, but at the same time, hey, listen, if we got to ask him to go, he's got to go. And two, that happened in game, right? So that happened in game. So, reps are going to increase just because you don't have the extra guys, available to you.
How good is it for you guys to have Corey Peters on the practice squad, just in case, you're able to elevate him, just a 12-year veteran?
Yeah, I mean, it's good. He's a veteran. He knows, Buckner's style of coaching. He knows Mike's defense. Good fit for us.
How much has that changed your roster manager, being able to do that? Like,
I think,
The veteran guy.
yeah, because the rules have changed with practice squad. I think it's helped every team, and then to be able to elevate a guy 3 times a year, it's kind of a game changer, I mean, back when I played, I think we only had 5 practice squad guys, and you couldn't come off a practice squad unless you were active for the rest of the year. But to be able to, maneuver guys up and down off your practice squad roster, we've had to do it the last couple of weeks, so it's beneficial to everybody.
How much does the flexibility with the other guys you have, like Roy, like DeJuan, and, maybe Adam, how much does that kind of give you guys some insurance just for Foley?
It gives you a lot. It gives you a lot of stability there, because you can't put guys in different spots and they can handle it. And it too depends on the game plan that week and the scheme and how much base defense are you going to be in versus sub defense. But yeah, being able to have that flexibility is huge for your defensive line.
What have you gotten from Devon Hamilton so far this year?
Just what we expected. He's improving every week, and he's a tough guy in there, and there's flashes of him pushing the pocket in pass game, and he does a nice job in the run game, and he's just continuing to show that he can kind of anchor the center of that defense, particularly in base, and he's done a nice job.
When a team bounces back, like you guys did from week 1 to week 2, and possibly this week, what does that tell you about your guys?
Well, I mean, it tells you it's a resilient group, and they can sort of put behind the loss from the week before and just kind of focus on the next game, and it's always about the week we're in, right? We never look past that current game, and I think they do a great job of just after Mondays putting that one to rest, and we're focused on the next game plan, and that's what it takes. It's such a long year. When you're talking, 17, 18 plus, 19, you get into the postseason, 20 plus games. It's a long season. You just got to learn to adapt and move on.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it, Coach.
All right, guys.